is VIP?
Okay, sure, no problem. So, for those of you who are just joining us for this VIP session, 3E is empowerment specialist. We specializes in empowering people by engaging their talents to enhance their productivity and profitability. We do this via people development and productivity improvement. So, moving on, most of you might be wondering, what is this VIP about? So, VIP session is otherwise known as a virtual interactive platform. This is something we started as a platform or avenue for people from all walks of life to interact and network with each other. We started this a few years ago during the pandemic. This was mostly when most of us were stuck at home. When we started out, we did fortnightly talks mostly in the form of workshops, quick talks, and quick demonstrations. And the best part, all of this was absolutely free.
Yes, absolutely free. And last month we had a talk on life support essential, and that was a very interesting topic. Okay, now our very first VIP we started on July 2021, whereby Miss Sandra N. Gauss, our MD and co-owner, I'm sorry, owner of this company, hosted the very first VIP program. So we have covered topics like empowerment, yoga, quick tips, mental health, and many more. So Ram, guess what? Today's number of program, it is our 53rd
Our
session.
53rd VIP already.
Yes, our 53rd. Imagine that, huh?
Time really flies, Akala.
Yes, time really flies. So Ram, please tell us something about our social media platforms.
Okay, so before we get started, for those of you who haven't already, please do like and follow us on our LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. And for your information, this telecast is also being live streamed on YouTube. So you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes, live stream from YouTube now. Let's have
Yes.
some housekeepings, ladies and gentlemen. So first of all, mute yourself. Thank you for being on time. Turn on your video. Come prepared. If you have any questions from our speaker, please write it down. Find a quiet place. And not to forget, have fun. Okay? Right. And Ram, today's topic.
Yes. So today's topic is on confidence revolution, glow up with confidence. This
Yes.
is meant for the general public to discover the secrets to building unshakable confidence and unlocking their true potential. Throughout this session, Jadida will be sharing her personal journey and insights on how to cultivate confidence from within, empowering you to unleash your full potential and radiate with self assurance in every aspect of your life.
Okay. A little bit about her.
So, a little bit about Miss Jadida Coriniona. She started as a working student at 17 and quickly earned herself a degree in project management and soon won her first pageant in Matanao. She, Soon after that, she secured herself as a former Miss Universe Philippines finalist in the year 2021 and 2022, which opened many doors for her in the world of modeling and public speaking. So,
Correct.
without further ado, I'll
Yes.
give the floor over to Miss Jadida.
Jadida, please welcome.
Hello, everyone. Wow, we are so psyched. We are so happy. Thank you so much, Pala and Rum, for introducing me. Can I see a thumbs up if you guys can hear me well? You can see me well. Can I see some thumbs up? All right, perfect. Or, comment down below if you're too camera shy. Don't worry. Oh, that's perfect. Haran says thumbs up. Amazing. So don't worry, you guys. This is an interactive platform where I just want to talk about confidence. And I know it's something that all of us are struggling, like regardless of age. I just remember talking to a teen who's like 14, 15, and she's always asking me, how come you're not struggling with confidence? And let me tell you, I keep on saying this, I am. I still do up to this day. In fact, the practical ways and the principles that I will be sharing with you guys are still being applied in my life in a daily basis. And so on a further ado, let me first share my screen. I know you guys are so excited. I've received a lot of comments and messages up to this day. up to now, they're telling me they're still on their way from work. And if you guys are still on their way to work and still hopping on this call, thank you so much. Okay, now can you see my screen? Give me another thumbs up in the comment section or in the chat box. Also, I just wanted to say, oh, incredible. Okay, so first off, I just wanted to say thank you so much to 3E Training Education for having me as their 53rd host. Guys, this is such an amazing way. 3 has been devoted to help people by giving back to the community what it certain topics to be talked about in the VIP session, everything that is really resonating to our hearts. And they've been doing this by spreading awareness of positive vibes and also awareness of certain topics that are needed in today's generation, such as mental health and, you know, certain topics that we don't know about. And I'm really, really honored to be considered as your 53rd host, talking about something that this generation, regardless of whether your age, you're 60, 50, 70, or 19 or 20, or you're starting off fresh in college, regardless of what age, this is something that you need, I need, everyone needs. So without further ado, let me just formally welcome you to Confidence Revolution, Glow Up with Confidence. I am your host again, Jedidah, talking about something that is resonated me since I was a kid, y'all. So thank you so much for being here, and don't forget to also share this link to your friends and family if they really wanted to spice up and wanted to have their glow up and be confident in their journey. So let me ask in the comment section, you guys, what is the first word that comes in your mind when you hear the word confidence? Anybody in the chat box? Come on, comment. I see Annika. I see Ang Sue. All right. Comment down the chat. Oh, wow. Rachel says positive. Power. Wow. Confidence is power. Wow. Jojo and Annika says power. Self-identity. Brian says, wow. Okay. Wow. These are such impactful words. We're talking about identity. We're talking about self-esteem. We're talking about, you know, power. We're talking about, you know, like taking back that power that belongs to you. And you are identified as empowering. Wow, these are such impactful words. And so this words has resonated something inside of you, I bet, because it's the first word that pops in your mind, right? So let me share you guys my story. Because you've heard me as a Miss Universe Philippines finalist, you've seen me as a beauty queen, a model, and a lot of people have known me that for. But what not a lot of people do know is that I grew up being bullied. I grew up being insecure. I doubted myself so much. And this was the very reason to why I've been so insecure about myself. So growing up, I've always feel different among my peers. I was bullied a lot because of the way I look. I had textured hair, as you can see on the video right now. You guys, this is not a wig. This is real curls. I've always been bullied a lot because of my dark complexion. And we are facing right now, I'm a victim falling for, I've fallen to colorism. To to those who have no idea what colorism is a discrimination over people with dark complexion. And it's not just a problem that has been going on into schools and from where I'm at or among my peers, but it's also a problem in the society. If you guys notice, you know, especially in the western side of the globe, what colorism to us is racism in the western side. And if you ever feel like you've been discriminated because you have a darker complexion, well, let me tell you, you're not the only one. And so my peers who had lighter skin always tend to be more favorable in a lot of areas than I am. And this became the very root of my insecurities. And if I were to look back, you guys, like if I were to look back, my younger self would have not believed that I'm talking to you guys, that she would come into this call and talk to many of you because this is her greatest fear. This is her living nightmare. And so when a lot of people come to me and say, you know what, you're living the dream, you're talking about confidence now, you're sharing your story to a lot of people who are struggling with confidence, let me tell you, I am definitely not living my dream. I'm living my worst nightmare, my childhood's worst nightmare. So, well, if you guys are interested of wanting to live your worst nightmare, then you're the right Zoom call. I'm just kidding. But it's turning your nightmare into a dream, you guys. So I'm really happy that you all are here. And let me tell you, there's more to come. All right. Okay. So as you can see, potential is the seed of the possibility waiting to be nurtured into reality. At 2015, right after college, you guys, my mom enrolled me into an acting class, but I didn't land a job until 2018. That's 3 years of like doing nothing, right? Because I don't see myself worthy of being a model and worthy of having the job, getting that project as a talent at all. You know, a friend of mine saw that potential and pushed me to accepting the job. And so thanks to her, I was able to start off my career as a model. In fact, you know, when I sent this link to her, she was so inspired. She was so, her heart felt so warm knowing that I was able to share my story now to everybody else. So a big shout out to Kat right now. If you're in this call, I'm really grateful for you because you were the one who pushed me. If you don't have friends who pushed you to make that potential happen, then let me tell you, you need to change your group of friends. Potential is the seed of possibility, like the slide says. Let me tell you that every one of us carry that potential. Every one of us carry that potential waiting to be reality, but it's just a seed. You know, it's just a seed. And just like any seed, if you've been to science class and you know how seeds become plants and trees, seeds require water, sunlight, you need to nurture it, you need to cultivate it for that to come into reality. So everyone carry us that seed. The question is, what are we going to be doing that with that seed? Are we going to nurture it? Are we going to cultivate it? Are we going to water it? And so or it's just going to lie there inside of us and do nothing, you know? So it always lies with your decision to step out of your comfort zone. And when people saw that potential in me, I didn't see it. I did not take that project it was offered to me at 2018, not until I saw it myself, not until that vision came into me that, hey, I can do this. So when I started to detach myself from public opinion, from what people say about me, about my hair, my skin, my abilities, I started to see myself differently. So after a while, my modeling career led to competing my first ever pageant, you guys, as Ram said earlier. And it happened in Matanao, Davao del Sur, in which it was just a local barrio in the southern part of the Philippines and led me to winning my very first crown. You guys, I love this picture because I'm surrounded, as you can see, with this incredible women before me, with me. They have experience in pageantry for such a long time. They're a lot younger than me. And you guys, I won as somebody who's a newbie in the pageant world. I was crowned as their mutya. By the way, mutya means in our local language, it means pearl. So I was crowned as their queen. And if I were to look back, one of the best takeaways I could tell you is that I just had the courage to step out of my comfort zone and realize that this confidence, this potential should never be caged just inside of me. I need to see it come into reality. And it did. And because of that, you know, when I started to gather the courage to put myself out there, I began to see the problems outside my zone. I realize now that, you know, when I started to take my first grant, I realized, hey, this problem is not just and should never just cage about me. It's not just about me. Colorism does not affect me. It affects to many other young women and also men who has been discriminated because of the way you look, of the way we look. And so I realized, especially in the pageant scene, that there wasn't anyone who looked like me there. And so instead of waiting for that change to happen, I became the change that needed to happen. Okay, I didn't just wait around and waited for somebody with curly hair and dark complexion flaunting on the pageant scene. I didn't wait that because that would take so long. As Philippines is known to be the powerhouse of pageantry, and we are known to be diverse in cultures and diverse in skin color and in hair texture, I didn't see anybody who looked like me in that scene. And so instead of just waiting, right? Instead of just waiting for that change to happen, I told myself, you know what? I'm gonna take that baton. I'm gonna take that opportunity to put myself out there. I may be lacking in so many areas, but I know for the fact that taking that first step of courage, taking that first step of confidence will not just be my own self ambition coming to pass, but it will be an inspiration for other people. Exactly. I like what AA chat, a leap of faith. That's I love that. I love that. So confidence in yourself does not leave you in fulfilling your ambitions, but also help assert yourself into what's lacking around you. You don't see somebody like you, be that somebody who you want to be seen. In my pageant journey, I've received many messages from mothers and different women from various backgrounds who were grateful to have me seen in the pageant scene because it's rare to have seen someone who look like them in an industry that despises them. So it was such a weird moment. I didn't know how much impact my presence was in the pageant scene, not until I took that first step. And like I said, you know, if I were to tell you guys, if I'm able to do it, you can do it too. And so the beauty about taking that first leap of faith, as AI said, right? Taking that leap of courage, you know, you want to do it because you want to fulfill your goals. You wanna assert yourself because you know you need that everybody needs somebody like you. You're not just doing it with yourself, you're not just fulfilling your dream, you're fulfilling the dreams for other people. You're paving the way for them to prove to the world or to the universe rather that if you can do it, they can do it too. So let me share with you guys, with the help of Retouch from 3E, I hope that you will be able to be inspired by the video that I'll be sharing with you guys. This happened at 2021. It was a collaboration. Oh, sorry. It was a collaboration with one of a multinational hair brand, which usually they get models and brand ambassadors with really sleek, straight hair for their models, to advocate for their brand. But it was so rare. It was a rare opportunity for somebody, for a multinational hair brand to get somebody with textured hair, and I happen to be one of them. And so let me share you guys how this video made so much impact to many young women of this generation.
Emotion, girl. So for me, I think the biggest challenge getting here was all the limitations that people have been putting on me, because I did this so publicly and everybody knew that I was a 5'3", aspirant. Tapos sinasabi sa akin na, bakit ka ba ambisyosa? Why do you even try? Like, you don't decide what I can do.
Don't let them.
Like, I get to say what I can do. Like, I set my own limits, and honestly, ayoko may limits.
Ako naman, I have been an OFW for 3 years. I had to quit my job. I had to make a decision whether I'm going to stay there and just be comfortable, or to leave my comfort zone, take the risk, and go for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And now I'm here, and I really don't regret that decision.
They expect me to be just like any other girl you see on magazines or any girl you see on billboards. To have lighter skin, to have really, really, really luscious long hair. And don't get me wrong, they're beautiful, but they wanted me to be part of a space I don't belong in from the very beginning. And I realized how it caged me to the potential onto how I've become a better version of myself, that I choose to shatter that by being here. Limitations can keep us from moving forward. Never settle, defy them. down. Conquer them. Expectations can limit who you can become. Never give in. Shatter them. No limits. No adversity. No expectations can hold us down. We are phenomenal women. We are conditioned for greater.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Retouch. So going back to my screen, you guys, as you can see, based on that video that you guys watched earlier, let me tell you that that video, like I said earlier, was shot at 2021. And up to this day, a lot of girls, a lot of people with textured hair still comment and send messages about me, about that video. They've been sending that and they say that video was such a powerful and impactful up to this day because it's so rare. Like I said earlier, it's so rare for somebody with textured hair to be considered to be a brand ambassador for a multi-million hair brand company that's always been known to get women with straight hair, with lighter skin in the Philippines. So as you can see, based on what you just heard and what you've watched, your self-confidence does not just revolve around you. It's just not just fulfilling your own ambitions. One day you're gonna be using that as a platform to inspire people. And you don't know because someone might be probably watching. So let me share you guys what confidence is. We asked the internet, and internet said, right? Confidence is the self-assurance and belief in one's abilities to navigate challenges, pursue goals, and overcome obstacles. It is cultivated through self-awareness, resilience, and a willingness to step out of one's comfort zone. Confidence empowers, like one of our constituents has said about power, empowers individuals to face adversity with poise, embrace opportunities for growth, and approach life determination and grace. So a lot of people have this misconception saying that confidence is just like that urge of energy roaming around the room, like I just decided to do something really crazy today. No, that's just an impulsive thought, you guys. That's not confidence at all. Confidence is all about self-assurance. It's that trust of your own abilities that, hey, there might be some situations that is out of my control, but I trust myself that I'm able to overcome them, that I'm able to go through them, that when something out of my control comes in my way, I'll be able to navigate it through it. And that's what confidence is all about. So let me share with you guys some 6 practical ways for a glow up, 6 practical ways, principles that even up to this day, I still apply. And this will help you navigate challenges, overcome your problems and situations right now. If you feel like you need that self-esteem, you need that power back, then this, I'm telling you, this practical ways is going to help you get that. So first principle is to know who you are. Okay, your insecurities will eventually become your superpower. So being confident is not just about changing who you are. A lot of people always say that, like, do I need to change this? I need to change that. No, it's to be proud of who you are. We are brought up with principles and challenges and convictions and even life experiences that made us who we are today, and we should be unapologetic about it. As human beings, we are evolving, we are changing, and that's because that's something that is permanent in this world, that we are changing. But to this day, you have life experiences, you have principles, you have convictions that you possess right now that says you are the only one who could live out that kind and pave your own way. So remember that if there's some insecurities that you have, eventually you'll be able to use that as your superpower to inspire other people. If I were just to cage myself with the public opinion that my insecurities are just gonna cage me from what I wanted it to be. That having dark skin, having curly hair means not being beautiful. I wouldn't be able to take that first step of joining a pageant. So what I did, I started to detach myself from it. And I may not control what happened to me back then, but I use those kinds of insecurities as an opportunity to say that I am different. It makes me unique. It makes me different from the rest of the people. And because of that, it became my superpower to inspire other people who look like me, that I may not see it out loud, but I know for the fact that I could say that I am beautiful because of the way I look, of my differences. And therefore, you too, with having curly hair, darker skin, diverse background, you also are considered beautiful. So let me ask you guys, what are those life experiences and principles that made such a huge impact in your life today? So make sure that question resonates with you. And I hope you'll be able to jot down, journal it down, and write out those things that made such an impact of your well-being, of who you are right now. Because those are the experiences that will eventually make up your future. Second is changed mindset means changed relationship. The opinion that matters should come from the people who matter. If you guys don't know, Jerry Diaz happens to be my personality development proctor in a beauty camp. And that saying really resonated with me, because once you have changed the way we think about ourselves and how we perceive ourselves, it will eventually change the way we see people and attract relationships that build and encourage our confidence. Because you decide to see yourself differently, just because now you see yourself in a way that you wanted to be perceived as, you started to evolve into a whole new person that make you attract certain people who wanted to encourage and wanted to guide you with that confidence. And that's why I keep on telling people, don't be afraid to detach yourself from the people who just harms you, who are just way too familiar of you, who doesn't accept the fact that you can change. It's okay. It's okay. If you want to change your circle of friends, do so. Remember that the circle of friends really matters of who you wanted to be perceived, or who you will be in the future. We are no longer bound of people's opinions, but what we want to be perceived as, and surround ourselves with people who feel the same way. So my question is, what do you want to be perceived as? Do you want to perceive as great? You want to perceive as a kind person? And surround yourself with kind people. If you want to be perceived as a great person, you can't be perceived with, people who aren't great. If you want to be perceived as a winner, you can't be surround yourself with losers. So surround yourself with people who encourage that confidence inside of you. Third is create a realistic goal. Confidence is preparation. Everything else is beyond your control, as Richard Klein said. Write down realistic goals that you want to achieve in a certain span of time and take practical steps on how you can accomplish them. Remember that there are certain things you can never control, like your past, like I said earlier, your mistakes, people's reactions about you, etc. So focus on what you can do now and how we respond to it. And when we talk about confidence, we're talking about preparation and practice. We don't just wake up in one morning and say, you know what, I'm already confident, right? Nope, it takes preparation, it takes practice. And, one practical or one realistic goal that I like to achieve on a daily basis is I set up 30 minutes to an hour listening to a TED Talk in YouTube, or listen to podcasts or streaming platforms that talks about confidence. Or let's just say your realistic goal is, I want to be able to, a lot of people now are struggling into losing weight or gaining weight. So put up a realistic goal where you can achieve, not just in a day, but from 30 minutes to an hour. Maybe perhaps you need to exercise more, walk for at least 30 minutes to an hour. It doesn't need to take a whole day to lose weight, but it takes a micro step on a daily basis that will help you achieve a macro goal that will make a huge change for you. So it takes that 30 minutes, an hour on a day, that will make such a big difference in the future. So I would listen to the TED Talks, and I'm telling you, it just brought me to a whole new step of revelation. Like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this wrong all this while. I thought I'm this and that when I can be this and that, you know? So pick up a realistic goal, write down your realistic goal. Do you want to ace that interview? Do you want to ace that job interview? Start researching questions that could possibly pop up in a job interview, or um, you know, look for ways where you are educated with the position that you are interviewing for. So there's so many practical ways. It just matters on the goal that you want to achieve. Next is to embrace your wins. Cherish your victories, for they are building blocks of your confidence. Let them remind you of your strength and capability. Every check on your checklist is a step closer to your goal. So congratulate yourself. Implement your wins as part of your routine, and eventually becomes your hobby, that eventually becomes your lifestyle, you guys. So the best part about this is that the moment that you hop into this meeting right now, 3E Training Education would want to embrace that win. This is definitely a win for you. And because of that, later on, as 3E has mentioned earlier, that you'll be given out certificates because you've attended this meeting. This is considered to be a realistic goal coming to pass, you guys. That's a check on the checklist. And because of that, 3E wanted to give back by giving you certificates, congratulate you for being part of this Zoom call. So pat on your back, you guys. You did an amazing job. This is so important. Confront your inner critic. This principle, this practical step is something that I've been struggling with for years. But Martin Luther said, you cannot keep birds from flying over your head, but you can keep them from building a nest in your hair. We can't refrain from negative thoughts. I wish I could tell you that every time I say I should forget about it, that thought should come out of my brain. Every time I say that, that thought keeps on resonating with me. Have you ever guys experienced that? Like, when somebody says something really negative about you, and you keep on saying to yourself, I should forget about it. That person doesn't know anything. I should forget about it. But what you guys don't know is that every time we say forget about it, we keep on remembering about it. So, we can't refrain from negative thoughts. Eventually, it's going to pop in your head. A certain situation or conversation may trigger, but instead of finding ways to escape from it, challenge it, question it. If that person told you that you are not good enough, challenge that thought. Why am I not good enough? Why is this person telling me that I'm not good enough? Is it because I am not good enough? No, I put my work on it. I practiced, I prepared for this. Therefore, I am good enough for it. But why? It could be that, a person is just portraying their insecurities with you. Let me show you guys a story, because when I joined in during my Miss Universe Philippines stint, I had a hate page. And that page is filled with negative comments about me, bashes about me, here and there. And when I knew about it, when a follower of mine sent that screenshot to me, instead of just like looking at it as a negative impact, I told myself, wait, this is actually really helpful, because love, the opposite of love is hate. I know the opposite of love is indifference, not hate. And the fact that they hate you, it means that they've gathered that effort and time and energy to hate you. So which means they still care. So it's just a matter of perspective, you guys. It's just a matter of how you perceive of what people say about you. Remember, publicity is still publicity. So the fact that you're still being hated around here, it means that they're talking about you. You're still the topic of everybody. And the fact that people are trying to pull you down, it's because they're below you. So it's a matter of perspective. It's a matter of how you see and want it to be viewed as. To confront that inner critic, every time people say something bad about you, challenge it. And oftentimes hurt people. So it all comes in from what they're experiencing. And last but not the least, this is my favorite, you guys. This is my favorite of all the principles and practical thoughts that I wanted to share with you. This is far beyond my favorite. Learn from your failure. Learn from your failure. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts, as Winston Churchill said. Each and every failure offers an opportunity for growth, resilience, and self-discovery. It teaches us humility, perseverance, and the importance of adaptability. By acknowledging our mistakes and understanding their underlying causes, we gain insight into our strengths and weaknesses. Through failure, we refine our strategies, sharpen our skills, and ultimately become better equipped to navigate the challenges that lies ahead. And you guys, I wish I could share you guys all the failures, all the mistakes I done during my Miss Universe Philippines stint. And even up to this day, I still remember that I would laugh at them because then those were, and I treasure them because those were moments where I better know myself. Like I said, confidence is all about self-assurance. It's all about trusting yourself, and how will you be able to trust yourself when you don't know yourself yet? And upon failing, you better know yourself. Like, oh, I didn't know this is me when I handle this kind of problems. I didn't know that this part of my life still aches me and still pains me. And so how to overcome that is keep on, learning from them, learning in times where you feel like you wanted to doubt yourself. Those failures are actually a step closer to your success. And once you better know yourself, once you better yourself, then that's when you're assured of yourself and you trust yourself even more. So let me share you guys the 6 practical ways earlier. Let me summarize it. First is knowing who you are. Like I said, changed mindset leads to changed relationships. Create a realistic goal. Embrace your wins. Confront your inner critic, learn from your failures. And these are 6 practical ways, you guys. These are the ways that I still apply until this day. Every single day, I still listen to TED Talks. Every day, I still get to, listen to podcasts that help develop my confidence. And every day, I learn from my failures. Every day, we're not perfect, you guys. We're not AI. AI just helps us, but our failures makes us human. And that's the beauty about failures, is because now you know about yourself. Now you realize oh my goodness, this is me. And once you better know yourself, you're able to ready yourself for the next step. So a few things to remember. First is, confidence does not mean you're always right. It means you're not afraid of being wrong. So what I'm sharing to you guys is that it's not coming from a place of fear of being wrong anymore. It's no longer coming from a fear that I just want to be right all the time. I want to be right. I want to do it as a perfectionist. Because, comment down below if you're a perfectionist. Personally, I am a perfectionist. I mentioned it to Retouch earlier during our dry run, and I just want everything to be perfect. But there are some things that we can never perfect ourselves. Like, obviously, our internet connection, we probably are struggling to connect here. We probably say something that is wrong, but we're no longer coming from a place of fear anymore. But it's now that courage that, hey, I may be wrong, I may be failing, but this opportunity of failure helps me get that self-assurance that I need to navigate all the challenges that are ahead of me and overcome the problems that are ahead of me. Second is, confidence will lead you into facing your greatest fear to prove that there's nothing to be fearful at all. Like I said, guys, this happens to be my greatest fear I'm living the greatest fear of my 12-year-old self. Like, I'm telling you, this is my worst nightmare of my inner child. But I realize now that I'm here, now that a spotlight is on me, literally, there's a light with me. I have nothing to be fearful at all. It's just me talking to you guys virtually. And when I talked in front of the stage, or when I walk on my stilettos in front of many people, I realize that there's nothing to be fearful of. I'm just
It's just all in my head. And so that's the beauty about taking that first step of courage. You realize there's literally nothing to be afraid of all. And even when you fear about rejection and you have been rejected, you realize you're still living and breathing, right? Third is when you are confident, insecure people are intimidated. So like I said earlier, right? Change mindset means changed relationships. Make sure to cultivate, continue to secure from this confidence, nurture it, take care of it, set boundaries from people who could harm that confidence inside of you, and surround yourself with people who cultivate and nurture that potential that eventually will become to reality. You know, if you have been to science classes and you know the science, when you try to plant a certain seed and it eventually grows, you have to make sure it grows well by not just watering it and put it under the sunshine, but take out the weeds that takes away the nutrients from the plant. So if there are certain weeds in your life right now that just drains out that confidence in you, that just drains out that energy that help you prevail, take it away. Take it away, you know? So surround yourself with people who nurtures and cultivate it, and take away those weeds that drains out all the energy and the confidence from you. Fourth is comparison is a thief of joy. Every single one is different, you guys. Everyone has a journey. I'm not just the only one with curly hair and dark complexion, model, host. Now there's so many of us who are similar with my image out there, but they're different. I'm still different. My journey is still my journey. That journey that I took, I'm the only one person who could walk through it. The journey, the path that you are taking, you're the only person who could walk on it. Remember, everyone is different. It's in our DNA. So don't compare yourself with other people. If you see people prevailing, that's because that's on their path. Your path, you have to control it right now. You have to control it right now. So take the courage to take the first step and realize that you're the only one who has that courage to take on that first step. And last but not the least, confidence is self-assurance, okay? And trust in your own abilities. Once you attain this, you win life. You want to glow up, you want to be more confident, then develop opportunities, develop ways on how you be able to be assured of yourself and trust on your abilities. So I'm really glad to be able to be sharing you guys these tips, these practical ways, this principles about my confidence journey. You guys, it's a journey. There's no destination. I'm telling you, what you guys see is not the destination. It's just me walking on my path, on my journey. Next year, you'll probably see a different side of Jedidah, and perhaps you probably be a different side of you. And who knows, who knows where your first step can take you. My first step, 2021 and 2022 led me to this. And who knows, my first step now could lead me to greater heights. That's because I started to be courageous enough to take that first step that led me to a macro impact that made a great future. So thank you guys. And thank you so much to 3E Training Education for having me as your 53rd host. I'm passing on now to the moderator. If you guys have questions and if you have other comments, please see it below so that I could be able to answer them. Again, this is an interactive platform where you also have the voice to speak. So I wanted to hear that beautiful voice, whether it's on the chat or in this call. Let me hear it.
I hope. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jedidah, for your lovely talk. And I hope it has inspired a lot of people in this room tonight. Okay, before we end the session, can we all take a group photograph?
Yes.
Okay,
Everyone,
so
please
I
turn on
can
your
start.
cameras.
Yes, can you all on your cameras? Come on, lovely ladies. The talk would have given you all the glow, the confidence. Let's all put on our cameras now.
All right, are you guys ready?
Wait,
Yes.
Ritesh, let everyone put on the camera. You know, Jedi, you gave that special talk. So everyone, please on your camera. Jojo, can you please on your camera?
Seems
Nicole?
Jojo has a problem with the camera.
Yeah, Nicole, what about you? There. Thank you, Rachel. Nicole, such lovely smile you have. Adi? Adi, can you on your camera, please? And Miss Ang, do you have a
yet.
problem? Pardon?
Yes. I cannot get. I cannot on. I don't know. It's just
right.
mute. Yeah. So
Okay.
sorry. So
You say,
sorry.
Brian, can you on your camera, Brian? And what about you, Diana? Can you on your camera? Rika? Okay, now are you all ready?
All right. 3, 2, 1. Smile. Done. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Good. So, Ram, what do you think today's
Yes.
session was?
Oh, today was an amazing session. It's been a while since I've seen the chat box blow up like this.
Yes,
We have
very
some wonderful
true.
comments.
What about any questions from the floor?
Seems like we have a few questions from our YouTube live stream.
Yeah.
So someone has asked, Jadida, can you share a pivotal moment or experience that helped you shape your understanding of confidence?
All right. Okay. That pivotal moment. Wow. I would remember the time when I, like, during my Miss Universe Philippines stint, one of the questions were thrown at me with the Miss Universe 2020 yourself. And I wasn't able to hear that question really well. And instead of asking that the winner, the queen herself, the question to be mentioned again, I just was blanked at all. And I just said something that was completely out of topic, that has no relation with that question. And it was a failure. It was a mistake. And let me tell you, right after that, I started to like cry. I was like, oh my goodness, like I made such a big failure. I made such a big mistake. But after I cried, I was like, wait a second. This is me when I'm in the height of pressure and nervousness. And so I got a better sense of myself, and realized that now that I made that mistake, now I'm able to gather that confidence to ask that question and realize that when the spotlight is on me, I should be able to help myself by unburdening that burden inside of me and make the audience be part of that conversation. So if I were to look back, I should have asked the queen herself that question again, and it brought me to a whole new revelation about myself. So now that I know now myself, I'm able to share that advice to all of you. So yeah.
Mr. L,
Wonderful.
what about you, Mr. L? Do you want to ask Jadi any questions?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm a talent scout for acting actually. So basically, have you done any movies, acting, or films or anything, or in TV series in Philippines or outside of Philippines?
Outside the Philippines, no, so far. It's mostly here in the Philippines. And oh my goodness, I don't usually share this to everybody, but I did act in a indie film way back I think it was around late 2017, that had me on to my modeling career 2018. And so, oh my goodness, I think a lot of my friends will be laughing at me right now, and they'll be searching that video. But yeah, it was one of those incredible memorable moments in my life where, oh my goodness, I didn't know I could act. Even if I took acting classes way back 2015, which I completely forget. I mean, you are obviously an acting agent, so you know how acting classes should be. The principles have been taught in acting classes should be applied immediately. Like it should come into action every now and then. But having 3 years of no practice, I didn't know I could act at 2017. So it was such a memorable moment. But then there are projects that were thrown at me, especially through Netflix, I could act, but then I'm looking for the right agency to handle me for it. So yeah.
Great. Maybe one day you can come to Malaysia and we also can hire you.
Oh yeah, well, you know, who knows? Who knows? Like I said, this is a stepping stone for something even greater. So thank you so much for that question.
And also another question is, do you aspire to be a TEDx speaker one day? Once you've
Sorry?
do you aspire to be a TEDx speaker? Because you're saying you're listening a lot of TEDx talks and all
Oh
that.
yeah,
through
TED
podcasts.
Talks. Yeah, yeah, why not? You know, this is, like I said, this is a stepping stone for me for something even greater. So like, who knows? You probably would see me in TEDx soon.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Elle. Thank you for the question, Elle. Now, Denise, would you like to ask Jedediah anything? Your mic is on or off. Can you please on your mic?
Yeah. The question is, how does self-confidence relate to leadership?
I've been a leader of multiple groups one time, especially in the curly girl community, and you tend to see someone who's a leader when they're a lot more confident. Like I said earlier, confidence is not all about being right all the time. It's never to be afraid being wrong. And to see someone who's authentic about themselves, who's really genuine about their flaws and insecurities, and allows them to involve the followers to pursue the same goal. Self-confidence plays so much as a building block into fulfilling a team's goal. And I say this, you know, when one time when we were part of a training group, and I was not considered to be a leader, but I'm the one who usually asks questions. People think that I was the owner, but then I always shed the light to the owner. But then that brought me to a realization like, wow, I didn't know being confident enough to make mistakes, being confident enough to try their best to ensure that they're fulfilling the goal allows them to think that you're leading them into something. So it plays a huge role, and it's a pillar when it comes to fulfilling a similar goal in a group.
Thank you.
Jedediah, we have some more questions from Facebook. What experiences have helped you feel more confident by staying firm in your beliefs, even during uncertainties?
Sorry, Ram, can you say that again?
Yeah, sure. So, what experiences have helped you feel more confident by staying firm in your beliefs, even during uncertainties?
What experiences? Okay, what experiences would definitely be having chats with the people who I'm really close with and those ones who really look up to me. One time I just had a talk with a title holder. She is now a title holder representing Japan in a international platform. And having that talk with somebody who is on the same platform as you helps you realize that you have a greater reason to why you come into the limelight at the first place. Because being in the limelight is not easy. You know, you're human, you have flaws, you have weaknesses. There are times where you want to feel like you're giving up, and it holds so much responsibility too, because as cancel culture now is being very much redundant, especially in social media, and you say something wrong, it could lead to something wrong, to a situation that be wrong, that could cancel you immediately. It takes so much pressure and so much responsibility having that much platform. So having that experience to talk with somebody on the same line as you, having to share that experiences allow you realize that, hey, there's a greater goal beyond this. You know, with all the bad negativity that's been thrown at you, let's not circulate from it, you know, and take this as an opportunity to be a better person. So yeah.
Thank you.
There's another question from the chat box. It's from Felipe Martin, and he asks, how do we know that the dream we want is for us if the stars won't keep aligning? Should I still pursue it or head for the redirection?
I've heard this. I've heard this before actually. And one advice that I would give to you is don't change the goal, just change the ways how to fulfill that goal. So if the stars do not align with you, it's probably because you still have a lot of things to figure out for now, but that does not mean it will align in the future. We do not hold the universe, we do not hold the solar system. We can hold what we can act and how we act on it. So don't change the goal, just change the way how to achieve that goal.
Ram, is there any other questions?
Yes, we have another question from our YouTube live segment. Jadida, what advice would you give someone who is struggling to find their confidence and voice?
The last part again, Ram.
What advice would you give someone who is struggling to find their confidence and their voice?
And their voice.
And their
Yes.
voice.
And their voice. Like I said earlier, like why? Like why do you struggle to find that voice inside of you? Those principles, like I said earlier, is to know first who you are. Why do you struggle that? What's holding you back from saying something? Why can't you be assertive as you want it to be? And from there, when you begin to know the whys and the root cause of it, you then realize how you can navigate your way through it. So if your reason to shutting out your voice is because you come from a very tough childhood, it had to do with a lot of traumas that you had in your past, and you want to deal with it, you deal with it in a way that what I usually do when I remember all those bad experiences, I would love to talk about it in front of a mirror. And when I see myself tear up and I say it over and over and over again, I realize now that my perception changes with it. So again, it takes practice. If you look into my principles early, it takes practice, it takes preparation, it takes a realistic goal of talking yourself into the mirror, listening to podcasts and TED Talks that allows you to better yourself, surround yourself with the right people who can help you go through that situation. Again, we are not a one man island. We have groups of people who loves you and take care of you. And so surround yourself with those kinds of people. When you feel like you're doubting yourself again, then go back to your biggest why. Why you want to better yourself. Why do you want to have this glow up? And let me tell you, you then realize that you're able to conquer those problems. Yeah.
We have one more question from the chat group. How can you differentiate genuine confidence and arrogance? And this is from Jojo.
God, I love this. I love this. That's when you lack self-awareness. Okay, self-awareness, when you're out of touch, that is overconfidence. A lot of people from you would know this. People can sense somebody when you're overconfident, when you overpromise. That's when you realize that you're out of touch with people and out of touch of the platform. And the thing about confidence, if you look back to the slide that I shared earlier, it's all about self-awareness. It's to become aware of your surroundings. It's being aware of the kind of audience that you're talking to. It's being aware of who is with you, who is at the back. If you have a co-host, then you realize that the limelight is not just all about you, me, myself, and I. You also have this co-host who shares that limelight with you. When you're talking about something that resonates with people, remember that you're not just in the limelight. You have that power to bring that audience in with the limelight with you. And so again, self-awareness. When you get to see somebody who's overconfident, it's because they're out of touch. They're not aware no longer about their surroundings and the people they're talking with. So once you develop that self-confidence, you develop self-awareness.
Thank you very much, Jedidiah. This was such a lovely answer. Right now, we shall move on. The next slide. So our upcoming VIP session for next month is saya. This is in Bahasa, Jedidiah. So saya menjadi apa yang saya fikirkan. And it's been conducted by our trainer, Mr. Vincent Leong. Ram, can you explain this topic to the people from Philippines and all?
Yeah, sure. So without giving too much away about this topic, because no one really likes spoilers. I'll give you a brief overview. This topic is basically shaping your mindset so that you can further yourself in whether it's your career, your personal life, or your social life. So for those who are interested, you can scan the QR code on the screen,
Yep.
or we have put the link in the chat box so you can register that way also.
Yes. Please do scan this. Okay, I'll hold it for a while. Now, coming back to our certificate, we're giving our e-certificate. So first you got to do is scan the QR code, fill in the Google form, and click to submit. Then the e-certificate will be sent to your email within 48 hours, around. So
Yes.
you also have to check our inbox and your spam box. Okay? So you've come to the end of the program. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Jediah. Thank you for attending this session. And I hope your takeaways